Hey guys, welcome to another episode. I'm Eric, and this is Retro Gaming Nerds. Welcome back. This week's episode is going to be very special for us all, as I love this game. It's in my top 10. Yars Revenge for the Atari 2600, being played on my faithful 7800. So guys, a little bit of backstory on Yars Revenge. It was created in 1982 by Howard Scott Warshaw. Yes, that Warshaw, the same guy who made the infamous E.T. Now, the game has some great backstories and stuff about how Yars is actually, the name of Ray Kazar, the guy who ran Atari for a while there, that kind of ruled with an iron fist, blah, 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 kind of stuff. Great history, and it was a bit of a pun to use the name Yar as a pun on his name. Now, the game's premise is you are an insect, a fly to be more specific. However, not just any ordinary house fly. You are a mutant fly that stowed away on a space shuttle that was destined to explore the universe. It jumped through a wormhole and crashed on an alien planet. Unfortunately, nobody survived except for the stowaway flies. Now, of course, they evolved and grew, and over hundreds, if not thousands of years, became a sentient humanoid species that built their own civilizations and technology and more. Starting, of course, with the human technology that was left behind in the crash. However, not all was peace and love in their growth. At one point, they come across the evil Quotile, an evil alien race hell-bent on destroying them and taking over their civilization. And they have made many attempts at destroying them. So in comes the big old event of Yars Revenge, where they take their battle to them, and it's a last-ditch effort. Of course, what's great is all of this can be found in the old Atari comic book that came packed in with the game and the instructions, where it was a wonderful comic. I actually have a couple copies still in my personal collection. It's a really well-drawn, well-made comic, and I do believe it was by the artists over at DC Comics, because they also, of course, if you remember, ran the issues of Atari Force back in the early 80s. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and get playing this classic game. Alright guys, so as you see, we're getting ready to play. Now, it is interesting. The bad guy swirls up and down like that. What's happening is they are launching their ultimate weapon to destroy me. And this little blip that's flying into that area is a cruise missile, basically. A heat-seeking cruise missile aimed at destroying me. I can either blast or chew away the blocks that make up this shield for the Quotile, and I just got hit. If I just blast them with my laser blast from my mouth, it just destroys them. But if I chew away at the blocks, it creates my ultimate weapon, destined to destroy the Quotile once and for all. So what happens? You got to line it up just right, and boom, you blast them, and it destroys them, and I survive. Of course, I move on to the next level. This rainbow thing in the middle, I do want to point out, it's called the neutral zone. It's a place where that missile does not affect me, but I cannot shoot, as you can see here. But the one thing is, the swirly thing there does have an effect on me, as it is capable of destroying me everywhere. The shield does alternate in different levels, where in this one, as an example, it swirls around as one big block, whereas the other one was kind of a half circle shape. Adds a little bit more strategy, where I've got to be able to go through and destroy appropriately. And what's great is, that's really fun. It doesn't really help with the score much, is destroying their ultimate weapon with my ultimate weapon in mid-flight. It's risky, it's dangerous, but it's so fun to watch when you actually get it off. Another way of implementing the ultimate weapon is by brushing up against the Quotile in their base. Now this is important because later levels there are no shields for you to destroy or eat to get in there, so you're left with having to do something. And there we go. Each level it gets progressively harder, whether their shield disappears, the neutral zone is gone, or all the above. And of course the aim of their ultimate weapon tends to get a little better and a lot faster. Plus the cruise missile becomes more active in tracking you and gets faster, which can be a real pain in the rump when you're trying to, you know, dodge and fly and kill the evil quotile. Now, and dead. But I still have 4 lives, so let's continue on. Now this is interesting, as Yars Revenge was not released originally as an arcade game. This was actually a home game designed for the Atari 2600 in mind. And it's really cool to think of that, because we don't think of that really ever. Atari's always been seen as the console that arcade games went home to, not as the console where people got original games for. But you got to remember, there are a library of games that did come out specifically for the 2600 in mind, such as Adventure, and of course, like I said here, Yars Revenge, plus a few others, including Solaris, Star Raiders, and the Real Sports franchise of sports games, which we may delve into down the road, of course. Well, why am I saying may? It's almost guaranteed that we will. Now, what's cool about destroying the shields, you can do it any way you see fit, but just remember that, like in the swirling one, it doesn't really hurt anything to do it in that way. But with the other method, or the other shield, you really have to focus on going at a frontal assault, because, well, otherwise your ultimate weapon doesn't penetrate through. It only knocks, and this is where it's kind of sucks, it only penetrates one block. It's kind of weird. It's able to destroy the quotile, but it's not able to wipe out large chunks of shield. Call it a issue. As you can see here, the cruise missile has picked up speed, and it's kind of frustrating. In these kind of scenarios, I try to position myself at the far end, try to get around and position myself to fire off my weapon, but it's not helping me a lot, and that was a bad shot. Now what's cool too is you can shoot at an angle on this. It's not just up, down, left, or right. You can shoot your personal lasers like at a 45-degree angle. Gosh darn cruise missile. It got me. I still got quite a few lives, so we're cruising along. So yeah, I want you guys to be able to see later levels where the quotile shield is gone, or, well, actually I stand corrected on that. I'm sorry. The shield only disappears when you go on those really super easy levels. I do want to point out that the Yars ultimate weapon does have the ability to kill you. Oh, and that's not good. As you can see, the color of the shield has changed, and as we also can see, the quotile is firing like a madman. They know I'm out to destroy them. And there's a prime example of the ultimate weapon being able to kill me. Not helpful. So, yeah, the quotile, we don't know what they look like, just other than a big swirly thing and a big old base thingy over there. I would have loved to see, oh, crud. And now it's where I have to be on the constant move because I have no neutral zone. And I knew I was going to screw up. I'm trying to eat that little block of the shield so I can have a good, clear shot. And I got the shot off, and it is dead. Sometimes on these later levels, I try to just hold out like this. This is where the practice from earlier shooting mid-flight and destroying it as a swirly death bomb is good, because trying to aim while there is no neutral zone is not good. I'm trying to break at least 100,000 here for this episode, guys. It is not easy. Oh, come on, shoot me right here. Shoot me. Ah! 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 I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Ooh. Come on, you son of a bitch. I know I don't swear on this show usually, but god dang it. I screwed up, shot too soon. Yeah, there's a joke in there somewhere. We're not going to go there, folks. Yes! Yes! We have broken 100,000. And I got another life back. And we got our neutral zone! But look how fast and responsive the enemy missile has become. It is chasing me, and oh, that was close. Oh, that was bad. Oh, we're almost going to do it. We must succeed. Yes, unstoppable. It's inconceivable. Oh, that was a good shot right there. Oh, yeah. It was coming at an angle. I blasted it, and we're moving on. Ah, crap. One life left, guys. One life left. Okay, here we go. And we got it. It's nice to be able to destroy it and move on, but it's so much more gratifying to blast it when it's in the air. But that missile is making, you know, googly eyes at me. It's like I owe it money or something, and I gave you your 20 bucks last week. Leave me alone. Go away. Okay, I'm now just kind of firing spastically here, folks. I don't want to die. Nah, yeah. And okay. Oh. I do want to point out, guys, that this game was remade a while back for the last generation consoles. I did not care for it. They kind of redid the whole origin of the Yars, made them look too human, if you will, like humans with wacky space suits. They weren't space flies anymore. And call me a little old-fashioned, but I was particular to it, and that is the end of the game with a very respectable 134,581 for a score. Not bad. Not bad at all. Alright, guys, so you just saw me going on against the Quotile to, you know, save my species, the Yars, with my utter revenge of for their evils committed against us and stuff. Yeah, okay. So anyway, it was a respectable score. It's not easy getting that high, and when you lose the neutral zone, it's just, especially when that cruise missile is flying fast and on a direct path towards you. Not fun. But anyway, guys, you saw the game. The controls are wonderful. It's spot on. They are tight. When you turn, it turns. When you fly forward, it flies forward. It's not a guesswork game where you're like, if I turn and then push this way, do it. No. And the firing is easy. And there's strategy regarding the fact that you've got to blast holes into the shield that line up, and while it's going up and down, this way you can blow them up, or, you know, wait till it ejects its weapon and fires at you, so you fire yours at the same time, and they meet up in the middle, and bam, stuff. It is a very simplistic looking game as far as, there's not a lot going on the screen. It's just a solid black background with a multicolored rainbow style neutral zone. The quote tile on this side over here, or this side, or whichever side the screen you're looking at, and all that good stuff. And then you have your little white fly doing that thing. The weapon that you fire is just a big block. I mean, come on, it's Atari. The sounds are pretty decent. I mean, you got the buzz, that hum that's supposed to represent the fly buzzing around, and all that stuff. I mean, it's a great game, and there's so many audio cues that let you know what's happening on the screen at that time, or let somebody who's listening that might not be watching in the background go, oh, hey, it's that, and oh, yeah, okay, cool, and it's over. The scorekeeping is pretty straight on. I mean, it has amazing amounts of difficulty once you start jacking them up. I just popped it in and played right off the bat. So, I mean, I'm on the default settings for the game. And it's just a lot of fun. It does have a multiplayer capability. Well, not really multiplayer. It does allow up to 2 players back and forth taking turns. You do not both get to take on the quote tile at the same time. That would be kind of cool a little bit, but no. Ultimately, it's just one at a time, back and forth. So it is fun, as like most games of this era that you played for the high score. You didn't see who can go. You went to see who can go farthest and highest score, but it wasn't about beating the game, man. No, it was about, I got you. I got a higher score. You suck. That's what it was about. That was what was making it fun. That was the true social aspect of gaming in the 80s that kids don't get today. So, fun game. I had a blast playing with myself. Anyway, so here's the deal, guys. You're going to see a lot of shows like this where I want to bring more content to you. I want you to experience what the game is about. I want you to know what the game was about. This way, it's just not some blocky, ugly game to you kids out there. And, the nostalgia is kind of, oh no, for the people my age and stuff. I want you guys to find out what this game is about, experience it, as much as you can through YouTube. And I want to introduce some games to you guys that you've never heard of before. Like our next episode, CBS Electronics their game, Tunnel Runner. You might be surprised, it's actually a first-person maze game. Yeah, you heard me right. First person. It's actually really well done, and being an Atari 2600, I know you're thinking, how? Well, guys, stay tuned, because we're playing more games on classic consoles. I'm Eric, and this is Retro Gaming Nerds.